Now he's sitting at a table with his lawyer over his will, 'cause he's ill. The kids don't call, they're waiting on the man to die. He's gonna leave them all a little something, but they're gonna be real surprised. There's a poor man living on a budget at the bottom of that hill. He's got a wife and 2 kids and a worried mind about how he's gonna pay the bills, but only the rich man knows. See, that's where a lot of this money goes, to a man who brought wood in the winter to take a little weight off of his shoulders. There's this thing called having it all. If you're gonna get there, you're gonna have to walk. First you'll have to crawl. Oh, you know you gotta do it step by step. Miss one and you'll fall into this well. Call a woman never having it all. The poor man has everything that the rich man wants. He's got a love in his life and his heart. He's got a house he calls home. The rich man owns everything for miles around. But what he needs can't be bought, it has to be found. His rich kids think that they're better 'cause they're better off. That's how they grew up thinking, and now he thinks that's all his fault. So while there's still time, the daddy for the nickel and dime, he's gonna make them learn to take a turn and stand in line for this thing called having it all. If you're gonna get there, you're gonna have to walk. But first you'll have to crawl. Oh, you know you gotta do it step by step. Miss one and you'll fall into this well. Call a woman having it all. See, life's full of changes and morning right now. What you only see in your dreams. No, you don't like it and think it's the strangest thing you've ever seen. There ain't nothing you can do about it. Walking and having it all. If you're gonna get there, you're gonna have to walk. But first you'll have to crawl. Oh, you know you gotta do it step by step. Miss one and you'll fall into this world. All the woman having this thing called woman having it all. If you're gonna get there, you're gonna have to walk. But first you'll have to crawl. Oh, you know you gotta do it step by step. Miss one and you'll fall into this world. Call the woman having it all.
All right, welcome to our impromptu middle of the week edition of After Chicken Pie. Thank you once again, Paco, for for having us on your channel.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Exciting news. I just figured we should go live because the government responded to Lorne's request to get off of supervised release. And I thought what they said here was kind of interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, so
I figure we'll take turns.
Yeah. We can. It's kind of short. We can just read through it. First off, I'd like to say thank you, everyone, for the birthday wishes. I usually don't celebrate my birthday much at all, so this year I've gotten more happy birthdays than I think I've ever gotten in my adult life. What you got there? Oh, you've got to get our YouTube stuff out of the way, which we are still in YouTube jail. I think Lorne will get off of supervised release before we get out of YouTube jail.
God, I hope not.
My goodness. All right, go ahead and read the things there, Paco.
Okay, so Spotify is Magnum Pot Pie, Rumble is Magnum Pot Pie, YouTube is Paco Peep Pot Pies. Linktree is Magnum Pot Pie. CashApp is Magnum Pot Pie. Teespring with just a little...
There is a new t-shirt on the Teespring. It is a campaign t-shirt for a candidate I think we can all get behind. It is great. It was designed by somebody in the Discord. And, actually the t-shirts aren't really that bad a price. I have no idea what shipping looks like from Teespring, but t-shirts aren't ridiculous.
Anyway, Teespring is Magnum Pot Pie as well. And our Ko-Fi is Paco Peep. Everything will be in the link tree.
Yeah. And there is a coffee mug in the Teespring with Lorne's face on it.
So, there's that.
Yeah, so you know how he's always bitching that people are making money off his face? Well, I haven't made any money off of that, but his face is on a piece of merchandise.
Good evening, Shorty. Hey, Curb Stomp, Cutie. And hi, Private Area.
Yeah.
So, I'm saying all our highs. They were kind enough because this was very last minute. So.
Yeah, so thanks for everyone to come out. I was just going to ask you, are we just going to look at a still image the whole time we read this? Or?
Oops.
And Paco's got this muted if there is sound coming through in the live stream from the video gameplay. Just let us know and we'll just pause it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Hey, Flamin' Young.
Yeah. Anybody that doesn't know, and I can't imagine why you're watching us if you don't know, Lorne asked out of the blue a while back to get off of probation, and he says he doesn't need it anymore. He's been doing really well, blah, blah, blah. He's going to have a baby, and just all this wackiness, and he wants to get off of probation. The government last week, they were supposed to respond. They got an extension. Today, they have finally responded. And of course, the government's like, yeah, sure, this is a good dude. Let him off of probation. He's done really well. And he should lead a successful life. So here we are. That was a great stream. And thanks everyone for coming out. Have a good night. Say good night, Gracie.
Yeah, that's not what they said.
No, the
I don't have nearly as much faith in Lorne as you do.
Okay, so anyway, I'll just go ahead and read this thing, and then we'll talk about anything that sounds interesting. How's that?
Sounds good. Hi, I want a biscuit.
Yep. So, government's response to defendant's request for early termination of supervised release.
Mm-hmm.
This is the actual government's attorney here. The United States of America, through its attorneys, Darcy M. whoever, United States Attorney for the District of Maine, and whoever assistant United States attorney supports this response to defendant's request for early termination of supervised release. The government generally defers to the view of the U.S. Probation Office in the matters, and today it's learned the position of the U.S. Probation Office as follows. Now, this is from probation.
Okay.
On June 30th, 2008, the defendant was sentenced by the Honorable Thomas B. Russell, United States District Judge for the Western District of Kentucky, to 60 months imprisonment and a lifetime of supervised release following a conviction for one count of travel in interstate commerce to engage in illicit sexual conduct. On November 5th, 2012, the defendant began his term of supervised release in the District of Maine. The District of Maine assumed jurisdiction of the case on January 11th, 2013. On October 1st, 2019, the defendant appeared before the Honorable John A. Woodcock, and I find it great as Judge is Woodcock, United States District Judge.
He's Junior Woodcock. Say it.
For a revocation hearing, the defendant admitted to violating 4 conditions of supervised release and was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment to be followed by a lifetime of supervised release. On February 5th, 2020, the defendant began a second term of supervised release in the District of Maine. Since that time, the defendant has participated in sex offender treatment and begun working at his own business recycling pallets. There have been no instances of noncompliance that have necessitated court notification.
The defendant now comes before the court requesting early termination of his term of supervised release. The United States Probation Office respectfully opposes this request based on the nature and circumstances of the offense and the offender's history and characteristics. The instant offense in this case involves interstate travel to engage in sexual conduct with a minor, who the defendant believed to be 13 years of age. The defendant began an online chat relationship with the presumed 13-year-old, who was in fact a decoy, for approximately 1 month before the offense. In that month, the defendant's chat log grew to over 400 pages. Additionally, the chats included the defendant teaching the decoy to masturbate, transmitting photos of his genitals, and describing in detail sexual acts he wished to perform with the decoy. The defendant also encouraged the decoy to delete evidence of their chats. Finally, the defendant traveled over 60 miles to meet the decoy in person. Throughout his time on supervision, the defendant has participated in the sex offender treatment program, though he has failed to complete the program. The defendant's conduct at times was so disruptive to the group that he was removed in favor of individual treatment. Examples of this disruptive conduct include covertly transmitting the audio from the group meeting via an open phone line, arriving to the group under the influence of alcohol, and failing multiple maintenance polygraph exams, later making accurate disclosures and admitting to having been deceptive when answering the polygraph questions.
The probation office acknowledges the harassment the defendant has been subjected to at the hands of many online groups. It is of note, however, that the defendant has, at times, willfully engaged members of these groups, including offering to sell autographed items and giving interviews. The defendant has been cautioned multiple times over the course of several years to cease engaging in these requests, and only very recently has begun to do so. The probation officer's administrative office favors early termination only when specific criteria are met. The defendant fails to meet several of those criteria. First, he committed a sex offense. Second, the defendant, given his previous revocation and the treatment of noncompliance described above, does not show an ability to lawfully self-manage beyond the period of supervision. Finally, the defendant has not remained in substantial compliance with all the conditions of his supervision. The clinician assigned to the defendant, Julie Rosanna, has been consulted on this matter and joins the probation office in opposition to the request. And now we're back to the attorney. A court may terminate a period of supervised release if, after the expiration of at least 1 year of supervision, and after considering certain of the enumerated factors set forth and blah, 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 it is satisfied that such action is warranted by the conduct of the defendant and the interest of justice. Based on the foregoing, United States Probation Office objects to granting him early termination of supervised release at this time. The government concurs with this position. For all these reasons, the defendant's motion for early termination of supervised release should be denied. Okay, there are some interesting things in here, I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know how much to make of this. I did find it a little bit interesting that in the narrative from probation, they did not at all touch on the potential of a child.
Right.
Now, I'm not suggesting that Lorne is correct when he says that probation needs him in a face-to-face relationship. Yeah, I know that has nothing to do with this, but even Lorne has said that were he to be with a woman with a child or have his own child, that the mother would have to participate in her own classes to know what to look out for because he is a sexual predator. So I just find it interesting that they didn't touch on that at all since it was brought up in the original motion. Usually they answer these things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I have no idea what that means. To me, that kind of sounds like probation just doesn't put any stock in that. Like, that maybe it's not even worth mentioning because they just don't even think it's real. He's come to them so many times with pretend people that maybe they just don't even put any stock in it. And I mean, my position on this is pretty clear that it's probably some form of catfishing. I just don't think that suddenly everything's coming up Lorne. Who knows? Maybe he really is having this Walton's life, and he's going to father a whole bunch of children and be the greatest dad ever. I gotta doubt
No. And Private Area asks, are we one of those online groups? LOL. No, because we have not purchased any autographed material.
Look, I am always trying to defend Lorne here. It is Paco who thinks the worst of him.
I do.
I am definitely not any part of any group that is selling merchandise with his face on it, or trolling him, or sending any sorts of things to him on his birthday. And I am just angry at the
audacity.
The audacity of it. To think that. I also found the language here where he said there have been no instances of noncompliance that have necessitated the court notification. That's some very specific wording there. I mean, that could just be general, boilerplate for he's been good, but that just sounds like, nah, he's been fucking up. It just hasn't been anything we've needed to revoke him on.
Yeah, that could be.
And I mean, we do have some evidence he's been kind of fucking up, because that period of time would include the robot encasing and getting up on his roof to take pictures of his butthole and stuff. Let's see. I like the fact that chat log keeps haunting him.
Yes.
I love the fact that, just like Chris Hansen was talking about how many pages of it, they have to bring up the number of pages. I found that pretty fun right there. And
no, Shorty, come on. I am not the instigator here.
You definitely are.
No.
Yes.
What?
You're the one that...
my channel.
Look, you're the one that programmed me for evil, okay?
How did I do... You're the one that dragged me into the whole thing.
That's not how I recall it. You're the one with a channel. I am just along for the ride.
No, that's because your channel got taken down.
Oh, let's see. You notice how he's still participating in sex offender treatment.
Yes,
I was about to say that. Years, he's still 12 years?
He can't pass it.
12 years and he's still participating.
Because he knows exactly what they want him to say, but he cannot bring himself to say it.
And if y'all have ever wondered if anything from the catfishing actually means anything to probation, the call with Winnie, where he's just got an open line to his sex class here, it showed up. So that showed up. And
Curbs Home Cutie says, as it should haunt him.
It should haunt him. It needs to haunt him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. And probation notes it's not all one way with this harassment. What we got?
Shorty says Magnum's channel taken down. Paco takes over. Suspicious.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? That's it. I bet you planned it. You wanted all of the fame and the huge Lorneography money.
Yeah. That is it exactly. You have caught me. I admit it. I just wanted to make money off of Lorne.
Well, I'm glad it's going so well for you.
I got a laptop.
Yeah. Now, this is a little interesting here. Okay, so probation notes that yes, he is getting harassed, Paco, but they also note that he's part of this shit.
I am not the one that sent him a letter from Chris Hansen.
Well, of course not. It's from Chris Hansen. But they note here that he's been engaging in this shit. Like they're like, look, he's gonna cry about this shit, but he's the one, doing interviews and trying to sell them shit. Probation, though, at least, is under the impression that he's not engaged in the community, which, to be fair, there do seem to be some interactions that seem pretty Lorne-like going on, but he's not really overt about it. He's getting on making snide comments on, like, Reborn's channel, getting certain Lorneography channels removed, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But not, like, making videos and, like, just openly engaging. So they're probably pretty right about that. I maintain he's being catfished.
It's very possible.
I maintain he's being catfished at the moment. And then the defendant fails to meet some of these criteria. I noticed the first one is that he committed a sex offense. So
I really felt is their way of saying, look, he's never going to meet the criteria because of what he did.
Because he's a sex offender. Let's see. They're like, look, he's been revoked before, and he's not complying. He's not graduating this fucking rape class.
Yeah.
Let's see. And probation's like, look, if this guy gets off, we're the only thing keeping him in line. If this guy gets off, they don't spell it out here, but I mean, come on. We all have listened to Lorne calls.
Yeah.
He's going to, if he gets off probation and they're not keeping him on a leash, he's going to be out there scamming people. Mm-hmm. He's going to be drunk driving.
Yes.
He's going to find someone else to victimize. I think the only thing keeping him away from the kids right now is the fact that probation is just so on him.
Yeah.
Not that I think Lorne is out there like getting ready to rape a little girl in the middle of Walmart or anything, but the only thing keeping them off limits is the fact that probation would be on him in a second. He can't get away with anything.
No, and that's good.
Yeah. And to me, it's also very telling that apparently his therapist here is like, no, this guy can't be free at the moment.
Yeah, that's a red alert right there, too.
Yeah, I mean, because this person's like, no, this guy's head is not in the right place. And I mean, the guy can't say what he needs to say to get out of rape class in 12 years.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's people listening to this that have done government tests before. It's like, if you don't know, pick C, right? It's like, just say what they want you to say. Get out of the fucking class. Fortunately, 87 is just too stupid to do that.
Yeah, it's like, I know that there are others that have gone through that class that say what they need to say and haven't changed a bit. He can't. He cannot bring himself to admit fault. He can't.
No.
It is impossible. Anytime someone gets him close to saying it, it's always a but or wail.
Yeah. The only time he ever sincerely said I'm a predator and stuff was not even sincere. He was just trying to get Debbie to fuck him.
Yeah.
That's it. It wasn't any sincerity about it. You just thought that admitting he was a child predator is going to get him laid. So
I think it's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah. Also, it's a shame that Asbury Brad can't chat on Rumble.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that sucks. Rumble's a pizza shit.
Well, maybe one more month, and we'll be back on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't know that we really have anything else to say about this other than we all knew it was coming, that the government's response was going to be not just no but hell no.
Yeah. But I do love the fact that, just the way they listed it, and number one reason is, Yeah, no, he's a sex offender.
No, he's a sex offender. He's an attempted rapist.
That criteria will never go. He will never fix because it's too late. And so that's them basically saying, yeah, no, he's stuck on this for life. That's our opinion. Period.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, don't take us as legal experts on this thing. I mean, I'm a factory worker, and Paco bakes bread for a living, so it's not like we have any insight into this. I don't even play a lawyer on TV. I just watch a lot of lawyers.
Cyrano says the government should offer to fuck him so he can get off probation.
In a face-to-face relationship.
Face-to-face.
Now, I will say in all of this, some interesting things about this is apparently everybody in Maine is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, these poorly written... I mean, this is the first decently written legal document in this thing we've seen. The first one looked like it was written by, I don't know, like a layman or something. Like, everybody was first thinking this thing was just a fake document put on Pacer because it was just so poorly written. The second one, the one that was the request for an extension, they got the defense attorney's name wrong.
Yeah.
They kept calling him Jamie.
Which was even better.
Yeah.
Curb Stomp Cutie says, he'd be so obnoxious if he finally got sucked. As well as YouTube won't stop bringing up the past, which the Flaming Meowing says something similar. Oh, they can also tell that we are therapists.
Well, we are. We are therapists. And we also have access to an island that we can ship you off to. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the first off.
How does this make you feel?
Yeah.
It
makes me feel humor. But yeah, I mean, apparently being in Maine makes you stupid. Because I mean, all these people had to graduate law school. And I don't think you can be 87 and do that. But I guess just living in, like, Lorne's vicinity kind of zaps that intelligence out of you until, you know, eventually you, like, are getting people's names wrong on legal documents.
Yeah.
And
I can see myself doing that, you know, typing too fast or something. But I mean, aren't they supposed to like spell check and
and I mean they've got like paralegals and stuff. It's just crazy to me. It's just that stuff is crazy to me, and I really want to know what is up with this Lorne saying he's got a kid business.
Yeah,
I mean I'm sure it's a catfish. I just cannot imagine that Lorne actually is out there having a child. But, I mean, there is that possibility that, you know, it's somebody out there looking to own the community. So, I mean, if you let Lorne fuck you, then good job.
Yeah.
You pulled one over on us. We didn't see that coming.
The Flamin' Myung says it makes him feel anxious. I'm sorry.
Are you anxious, precious?
Oh, God. No. Cyrano says, I heard about an island Lord would like to get sent off to.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's even a little black book to get your name into to get on that island. I think that works out pretty well for Lorne.
You enter this state and your IQ drops 20 points.
Yeah, I think it's just that vicinity. The closer you get to Lorne, just the dumber you get.
That's pretty much what Private Area said. Lorne is a black hole of knowledge and sense, so it zaps everyone nearby.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah, now...
Oh, no, you're good. It's... The stream is very laggy. It's at least a minute off, so our comment, we're reading the comments when they finally come up. When you guys text them, you guys are behind us, so it's on us. It's Rumble.
That's one thing I like a little bit better about YouTube is the delay's a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, according to what we're looking at in OBS Studios here, like there shouldn't be any lag to speak of.
Yeah.
But there's at least a minute. Like it's crazy lag.
It's annoying. One of these times I'm gonna time it and see how off it is.
Yeah.
That'll just make me annoyed. The Flaming Myung says, I wonder if it's another sperm donor troll like with Emma.
Yeah, I mean, now the speculation can really run wild.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, if the actual, real, honest to God mother of Lorne's child is out there listening to this, then I'm going to say, good job. You really pulled one over on us. Good job laughing at us all for the next, 18 years. You're stuck with this deadbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, congratulations.
Yeah. Nobody thinks the whole 18 years out. They got it.
Dude, God, could you imagine being stuck to that guy for 18 years?
No.
That no matter what, because he's just going to be in and out. If he's actually got a child, there's no way he's going to be an engaged father. He's going in and out of that kid's life, and every time you don't want him back, here's going to come Lorne with some more bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Congratulations. You got one over on us, lady.
Yeah. Private Area says, I said molest on here and it kicked out my comment. Well, then don't say it.
Yeah, don't say molest. What's wrong with you saying words like molest? It's almost as bad as saying dog fucker.
I was so about to say that.
Well, there's this video getting taken off of YouTube.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So, yeah, short one. I just wanted to kind of go over that. Usually we lazily jog behind the bandwagon. This time we might be among the first people getting a video out on this. Don't worry. Come Saturday, we will get back to lazily jogging behind the bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks for coming out, everybody.
All right, everybody. Kiss, kiss.
Yeah, say goodnight, Gracie.
I said kiss, kiss.
Okay.